today. Our Toolbox meeting today is all about streamlining your sales process using BRIX Sales with DocuSign. So as always, we've got Tyler in the background running the show for us, and she's organized all of this for us, so thank you, Tyler. I will be your presenter today, and then we have a guest. So Liana Poole is with us from DocuSign, and she will be here if anybody has any questions or anything like that at the end of our session today. So I'm just going to turn off my camera and we are going to get started. Before we do though, I just wanted to remind you, if you do have any questions or anything like that throughout the presentation, we'll answer them all at the end, but on the usually on the right-hand side, you've got your question pool that you can add to. Feel free to do that, and then Tyler will go through those and we'll ask them all at the very end or answer them all at the very end. Alrighty, so thank you very much. Awesome, so today's Toolbox Talk, we are going to go through, 1 second here, let me just shrink my screen, there we go. So on today's Toolbox Talk, we're going to cover the requirements that we need for both DocuSign and BRIX Sales. We'll also go over before you start and BRIX users setup. Then we'll go through our Word document setup, our DocuSign setup, connecting BRIX documents to DocuSign, sending a document for signatures, as well as at the very end, I've got some tips and tricks for you, and locating the how-to video and documents. So this is all recorded in a how-to video ahead of time in a lot more detail than I'm going to go through today. Today, I'm just going to try to keep this as high level as possible for us, just to try to get it through it in about a half hour. So the requirements that you do need a DocuSign corporate account. So if you don't know what level your account is currently at, if you're a current DocuSign user, feel free to reach out to us at Hyphen, and Leanna and I talk on a regular basis. We can figure that one out for you. Or if you're looking for a DocuSign account and you're not sure if you already have one, we can vet that for you in advance, and if you don't have one, then Leanna will help me put you in touch with the correct account representative and get you all hooked up on that side, so you don't have to worry. Each user sending documents out of BRIX Sales needs to have their own DocuSign login, so you won't have to worry about that with that corporate account. Confirm you've received an email from Hyphen stating that your DocuSign account has been set up and ready to go on the Hyphen side. So we just have to do one step for you in advance just to make sure everything's going to work properly. So before you start, there's some things I need you to think about in advance. You should know what documents that you need signatures on, and you'll want to gather all those together. Then you'll want to know or record down who needs to sign or initial those particular documents. Do you need to add any dates or anything like that to the document as well? And is there anybody on your team that maybe is not in that signing order, but also needs a copy of your document? Make note of that, because there's a way to attach that to the document as well. So let's go into the BRIX user setup to begin with. So you need to do 3 things. You need to modify your user permissions, you need to connect to DocuSign, and you need to confirm that your PDF settings are set correctly in BRIX Sales. So let's go over to BRIX Sales right now and take a look at how to do that. On the admin side, so your administrator is going to have to do this for you. And again, we have a recording of this, so if you don't have admin access right now and you have to show your administrator how to do this, I'll show you where to get this recording and all the information that you're going to need to set this up fairly easily on your own. But again, we're always here for you, so don't worry. So in the admin section, we're going to go down to the permissions templates. In here, naturally, I've got a whole bunch of different templates set up. We'll take a look at the sales consultant one for now. So in the sales consultant's permission template, under permissions, in the sales menu, as we go down here, there's this change password menu item. You'll need to make sure that that's turned on. Usually it's turned on by default, but you just need to confirm that that is definitely turned on. And for each one of the different templates that you have set up, you'll have to make that confirmation. Now, making sure that that is turned on is going to enable a different menu item in your sales pull down. So in sales, you'll be able to go to manage login. So changing that password area gets you to the manage login section. So in here, naturally, you could change your password in BRIX Sales, but you'll see at the bottom, we now have DocuSign, and mine actually says connected. So if you've never connected to DocuSign in here before, yours will say connect, and you'll hit that button. Now you don't have to be logged in to make this connection at first. You just have to have a username and password. So if you're not logged in and you hit the connect button, it will ask you to log into DocuSign automatically. You won't have to do that on your own. The system will automatically ask you to do that. And then once you log in, it'll ask you it'll ask you to confirm that you are okay connecting BRIX Sales to DocuSign. If you're already logged in, it'll skip the login process and it'll just ask you to confirm that you want to make that connection to BRIX Sales. Then the last item that we wanted to go over is as well in admin, and you'll just go into client settings. So again, your administrator is going to have to do this for you if you don't have admin rights. I'm just going to scroll down until I get to documents. Sorry for the scrolling, but this is where it's at. Right now in the document section, I have all 3 of my boxes turned on. So in here, I just want to make sure that PDF format is actually checked off. So if you don't have that checked off, the documents won't send over to DocuSign if you only have Word turned on. So just make sure you have that one turned on as well. Okay, see what's next on our checklist here. So if you did run into any challenges, the only 2 that I've encountered so far on the connection to DocuSign could be this window pop up. If this window pops up, you probably either had your username or your email address or password incorrect. So just check that with your IT team. They'll be able to make that connection for you. I've also seen this 404 error. So in this particular case, it's probably that maybe we haven't attached your special URL address that needs to get added to our DocuSign account to make sure that you're allowed to connect to BRIX Sales. So if you do encounter that, you can email our support team and just make sure you title that with BRIX Sales and DocuSign connection. Or I have been working with a few of you on setting up DocuSign, so please feel free to email me as well. But you have that information there if you need to. So the Word document setup is next. What we have to do here is we have to tag our company documents. So you've got all those together now. We have to load those tags documents into BRIX Sales again. So the documents might already be there originally, but now that we're going to add these tags, we have to reload those documents into BRIX Sales. And then we have to create a DocuSign tag document as well. So let's go over to Word and I'll kind of give you a high level overview of how we're going to do that one. Let me just shrink my web browser here. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have 2 documents open on my screen right now. I have one on the left-hand side, which is actually the contract that I want my customer to sign. So you can see I've got my standard sales contract here, and I want them to sign this. So I've got that document open. You'll want to open all of the documents that you want to add tags to. Then on the right-hand side, I have what I call a sales contract template. It's kind of my cheat sheet. Feel free to use it, and I will show you where you can get this off of the user website for sure, or the user group website. So we're going to use both of these documents together. Right now, I do have this document tagged, but you can't tell because I turn all of those fonts white. So just to kind of show you what those look like, when you highlight this area, let me just right click, we'll change those colors on here just so that you can see them. Well, don't get too crazy here now. Perfect, I got them all highlighted. So in here on the left-hand side, I have \C1 SIG for signature and \. And then I have the same thing, but instead we have date in here. So if we look on that on my cheat sheet, I've got in the second column here, \C1 SIG \. So that's the DocuSign tag. We take this DocuSign tag and we place it exactly where we want the customer to sign in your actual contract or whatever documents you're using. And the same thing with the date. So those are the DocuSign tags. You can play with those ones a little bit if you need to. They don't have to be this exact verbiage in here, but whatever verbiage you use, you need to keep it consistent. The most important thing though here is the first column. So the customer 1, customer 2, we support up to 5 co-buyers. So you can change this all the way up to customer 6 if you need to. So let this document grow if you're going to use my cheat sheet. Then we've got our realtor, our sales consultant. All of these ones here that I haven't highlighted in a different color, those are all driven from BRIX Sales. So BRIX Sales is going to know what the customer's name is, what the email address is. It's going to pull it from all that information you've been inputting into BRIX Sales. Below though, you may have people that don't exist in BRIX Sales. So I've got a VP of sales and I've got an administrator that I want to have sign my documents as well. So then these particular people can actually be created on the DocuSign side and added to my DocuSign template. And we'll get into that in a little bit more detail, but that's why they're on here. So this is kind of a cheat sheet, a little bit more about it. You've got this page number and notes. That's just to help me know which contracts or documents I have added signatures and tags to. And the notes is just to help me identify that those are DocuSign items themselves, so I won't have to worry about that. Just kind of give me a little bit of an idea of where it's going. Then I kind of made a cheat sheet at the bottom here. So we're going to leave this open, and on the far left-hand side, we're just going to go back and change those back to white so that that document's working for me, no problem. All righty, so let's take and now go back over to, you know what, I think we'll need to open up Explorer again, and then let's go, or not Explorer, Chrome again, and let's go back over to our list of things to do here. So DocuSign Set Up. So first we'll log into DocuSign, then we'll create a template together. Remember, you need to know the signing order, and then we'll also place all of the signatures and initials and dates within that document. And then there is an item in here as well, a template ID that we're going to have to capture and attach back into BRIX Sales. So let's go through that one together. The very top here, I've already logged into, oh, I've been up for too long, so let's just log into DocuSign. So once I log into DocuSign, I'll be greeted with the main DocuSign page here. You'll be able to see actions and what's happening in DocuSign today, but right now we're going to focus in on those templates. So in the top on the left-hand side, we're going to go into the template section. If you've never created a template before, your screen will probably be blue and yellow here, and it'll have a new template creation button, and you'll just click that. If you've already got some templates in here and you're not familiar with how they were set up, all you'd have to do is click the new button. Today, we're just going to edit an existing template just to kind of save us a little bit of time. So we're going to go into the sales contract one, and I'm going to edit it. If it was from brand new, then you'll be able to take, and sorry, I have that open so you can see my DocuSign routing as we go through it. If it's a brand new document in here, you would label the document. So this is where you create your document name. And then if you want to, you can put some template description in here as well. Next, you would normally just have this box here and you'd hit upload to get your new document up and into the system, sorry. Then you can see I've already loaded one into the system, and it is our sales contract. It was just the cheat sheet. So we're not actually loading each document that the customer is going to sign. You can if you want, but I'm going to show you a way easier way that the DocuSign team has created for you to add these tags to the doc, or add these signatures and initials and that sort to the document. So I've just loaded my cheat sheet. That's all you have to load. Then as I go down the screen, naturally you're going to have only one box here. And then you'd have add a new user after that. So we're going to check off the set signing order, which is going to give us these numbers here. And then we're going to deal with our first one. Right now, let me just shrink this a little bit because I want to show you that cheat sheet at the same time. On the left, I put in customer space 1, exactly as it is in this very first column. That's how important it is. If it's not exactly the same as this, it's not going to work for you. So we've got our customer 1. Then you'll note that I don't have a name or an email. Because it's driven from BRIX Sales already knows all this information. So you don't have to worry about that. Then we need to identify what we want the customer to do. Well, we want naturally customers to sign, so we're going to have this as needs to sign. But if they were an in-person signer or they only wanted to receive a copy, we could change that up as we need to. So this one here, it has to be a needs to sign. Then I would have hit the add new, and I could then add customer number 2, same scenario, add new, add the realtor. As we go down, I keep doing this, and I keep making sure that they're a need to sign or whatever the role might be. So then when I added the VP of sales here, I typed that in, and naturally they don't live in BRIX Sales. So it doesn't have to be VP of sales. It can be whatever title you want. And then I put the person's name. So Caitlin is the person that's going to be signing this for our team in this particular community. So I put Caitlin's name and her email address in here. DocuSign is super smart with this. Once you've got this information in here, it goes into your contact list. So you'll have your contact information on the DocuSign side. If you already have contacts in there, I could have just picked the contact from the contact page on the icon. There's still a needs to sign. My admin person though is just slightly different. So I've got my role, my name again, I typed in an email address because they don't live in BRIX Sales. And then I only want this administrator person to receive a copy. So I just use the pull down and I change it to receive copy. A couple more items on here. If I needed to add some more people, again, I just hit add recipient and we could add customer 3, 4, whatever it might be. Now at the very bottom of the page, you'll see email subject. You'll probably want to type that in because that's going to be the subject line of the email that you're going to see if you're maybe using Outlook or whatever it is that you're using. That's the subject line of my email. Then you'll probably also want to type a little blurb, just letting the customer know that it's a document you need them to sign and it's through DocuSign. So basically reassuring them that it's a safe document. So all of that information is going to pop up on the email when they get it. One other item quickly on this page, as I scroll up, we checked off this set signing order. What that's going to do is I've got this signing order here in DocuSign in the center of my screen. When I click on that, I can see the routing order the DocuSign is going to go through. So right now I'm sending it, customer number 1 and 2, DocuSign, it's important for them to sign, but it doesn't care who signs in what order. They can both be signing at the same time. So they'll receive the document at the exact same time. Then it's going to send it to my realtor, my sales consultant, and so on. If I'm very particular and want customer number 1 to always sign first, all I'd have to do is go down on the left-hand side, change this up to a 2. Then if I go over to the signing order, you can see I've got a new signing order and customer number 2 has to sign after customer number 1. So I'm going to close this. Then in the top right or the bottom right, you've got this next button. So all you have to do is hit next, and it'll take us right to the document where we're going to put those signatures. Now this gets pretty cool in here. Right now, I've only loaded this cheat sheet into DocuSign itself. So I've already have some tags. I took some out just so you can kind of see how this works very easily. We've got customer number 1 in the top left-hand side. I'm going to take their signature. I'm just going to put it willy-nilly on the page at the moment. If I was using the individual placement, it doesn't allow my document to kind of grow with me, but I can make it so the customer has to sign in this exact spot. But I really want them to sign where we've got that DocuSign tag in those documents from BRIX Sales. So what I need to do here is go down to location. From here, I can take and hit setup. Then it's important, and the cheat sheet helps me out, I can just take and highlight the exact tag that I've got on my document and hit apply. And then remember, it was in the top right-hand side. As soon as I hit apply, it's going to take and move it to the exact location where that tag is, which also gives me the confidence to know that I've got the right tag added to the system. So then I go down, I don't need the initials, but I want that date. Same scenario, I can go in. Now, because I've done this a bunch of times, DocuSign's remembering the last tags I was using, or my browser's remembering the last tags, and again, it goes in. Top left, I now switch to customer number 2. So if you ever have any challenges, I actually did this. I forgot to take and switch it between customer number 1 and customer number 2, and then my document didn't go in the correct routing order. So, you know, learn from my mistakes. Make sure you switch between the different people that are actually going in and needing to be signed. So this should be nice and colorful with all the different people that you've got on your pull down list. So we've got everything in here. I just hit save and close. So for me at first, it was kind of strange. I'm not actually signing that document that's right in BRIX Sales. I'm signing on the cheat sheet. No, DocuSign and BRIX Sales are going to talk to each other. When BRIX Sales sends those documents that you want in your envelope over, DocuSign is going to go through all of those documents. Look for anywhere we've got that C1 SIG for signature on each one of those documents, and every time it sees it, it's going to ask the customer to sign in that location. So really easy way to tag your documents and make sure you've got this customer signature on each one of them. Now there was one other item we needed in there. When we go to the sales contract, we needed a template ID. So I took and I just hit the template. On the left-hand side, there's something called template ID. So in here, you don't have to hide it. DocuSign Teams made it easy for us. All we have to do is hit copy, and now we've copied this template ID information. So we'll make this bigger again. Go back to BRIX Sales, and do believe we're just going to make that connection now. So connecting the documents to DocuSign. From the utilities in the documents folder, we're going to make sure we upload those documents with tags, and then we're going to select edit. Then we have to paste the DocuSign template ID, and we're all done. So let's do that together, and then we'll take it for a test drive and see what we get. First of all, we're going to go into utilities. Then we're going to go down to the document section here. So in here, I'm going to search for this document that I want to add a tag to. You're going to make sure that you go into upload, and you hit the choose file, upload the actual sales contract that you've added your DocuSign tags to. I was super excited, forgot to do this. It didn't work for me. So make sure you upload that DocuSign or that document with the DocuSign tags that you turned white. And then again, don't forget to hit the upload button. Very important. Then you'll go from here back down to the sales contract, because that's the one we're playing with today, and hit edit. From there, you will probably have this box here blank. All we have to do is right click, I'll highlight mine, right click and hit paste, and it will paste that DocuSign template ID in here. And then again, don't forget to hit save. So we've got everything in here. We'll go over to sales, and we're going to go find a customer, because I think that's where we need to go next, but let's just make sure. So sending a document in for signatures, we'll just open up a test customer. So we're going to do that in a second together here. From the documents tab section on the documents for signing, we'll go and find that. And then we just have to make sure we check off all the documents we need to sign. If you have a light gray box, that means it's not going to go to DocuSign. We've made a mistake somewhere along the line. We need just to go review our process. But if everything's good, the DocuSign box will be bolded. So very quickly here, we'll go over, find customer. So let's just pick on Marissa here. In here, we're going to open up one of her contracts. So let me just sort on the contract dates to get the latest one. Sure, we'll pick on this one. See if we've got any documents already sent to Marissa. So in the document section that you normally would go to on your contracts, we just click it. Then, as long as I have DocuSign tags on all of these, let me show you first of all. If I don't have a DocuSign tag on warranty, which I know I don't, I hit create document. I just want to show you that gray box to begin with. Awesome. So the DocuSign tag box to hit that button is not available, or send to DocuSign is not available. Obviously, somewhere in there I've made a mistake. If I hover over it, I can actually see that it says DocuSign capabilities, document not found in the package. So I can just close this. Naturally, I've got it because I hit the button twice because I was impatient. I've got this in here twice now. But if I do, for example, my sales contract checklist and my sales contract. I know I've already tagged those because I was doing them myself. Hit create documents. When the box pops up, the DocuSign box is bolded, so all I have to do is click on that. You'll see a quick flash here in a second, which means it's gone over to DocuSign, and then all I have to do is close this window, and we can see, oh, apparently I didn't wait long enough. Hang on 1 second, let's just try that again. I'll delete this, might as well delete the extra one I've got going. Okay, so sales contract and sales contract checklist, and create documents. So we'll send to DocuSign. You will see a quick flash on the screen that does let me know that I have sent it over to DocuSign. There was my flash. I'm gonna close this. Now we can see it was sent in the DocuSign side. So we've got all of that. Now, if I do go down to my Outlook section here, I will be able to, in just a couple of minutes, we'll see the document come over to me. While we wait for that, because I do believe I've got Marissa as the salesperson in there, or as the customer in there, so we'll go to Marissa first, and then it'll flow down the entire order. So tips and tricks. First of all, you do not need to be logged into DocuSign to use this document, or to use BRIX Sales with DocuSign. You don't have to actually be logged into DocuSign. If you want to track the status of your document, you would log into DocuSign, and on your DocuSign account, you'd be able to see who signed it, where it's at, that sort. If somebody in your company is on holidays or anything like that, you can log into DocuSign and edit the DocuSign document so that you can change up that routing order. And at any point in time, you can log into DocuSign and sever the connection between DocuSign and BRIX Sales. And those items are definitely reviewing the routing order and all of that, just in case we don't have time today. Those are definitely in the how-to video as well. Now, the how-to video and the document that I was looking at, if you go to the user group at hyphensolutions.com, in the top right, you can log in. If you don't have a login, still click the login button, and then halfway down the screen, there's a place where you can register to become part of the BRIX users group, so you won't have to worry about that. When you do register and you do have a login to get into it, you'll see a title across the top. Most of the information, some new information will come into your BRIX home screen, but under the document exchange, you'll navigate down to the BRIX Sales how-to videos, and both the BRIX Sales for DocuSign is loaded here. There's a video you can watch, and the cheat sheet that I was using during our presentation is also in there. And just before I open it up for questions, I wanted to remind everybody that this Friday, we do have a users group meeting. So if you are not part of the users group, you can email either Caitlin on the bottom left or Shane, and they'll make sure to get you connected to the users group. And if you didn't catch that email address, just make sure that you message either Tyler or myself, and we can make sure that we get you attached and get you that email address as well. So Tyler, I know I'm exactly at 10 o'clock, but do we have any questions from our users today?
Yes, we do have a couple questions. So kind of opening up the floor as well. If anybody has any other questions, definitely use the little panel that's provided in the GoToWebinar on the right side of your screen. So our first question, Nicole, is what if we have items like checkboxes in our documents? Can we still use DocuSign?
You can. So when I was on the DocuSign screen where I was adding the colorful tags for each one of the users, on the left-hand side, there were boxes there where you could actually put in checkbox items and that sort. And then you'll just have to make sure to create a checkbox tag for it. So very easily done. Thank you.
Second question, does each user need to set up their own DocuSign templates?
Oh, no, actually they don't. Your administrator will set up the either a single template, or they can set up as many templates as you want, and then anybody that's attached to your DocuSign account and BRIX Sales will automatically have all those templates attached. So you don't have to worry as sales teams how to create those. Your admin teams can do all of that for you.
can I have different people in the office sign a contract for different areas?
You can, for sure. So whoever's setting up your templates, documents in BRIX Sales can definitely, you can have multiples based off of the different projects or communities that you're building in. Then if you want different people to sign those contracts, you'd create a separate template. So you could copy an existing template and then just go down, and maybe it's the VP of Sales you're changing up, change up the user or the name and the email address, and save that template as a different template name, and then make sure you take that template ID and attach it to the document in the different area or project that you need a different signing order in. So yes, that can be done, and I do believe that's also in our how-to video.
What do I do if someone is on a holiday and can't sign?
Awesome. We kind of touched on this a little bit, but you would log into DocuSign, and then in the DocuSign section, you would edit the document or the package that you have sent out to the customer. So when you edit that package, you could go in and change up the person signing in a particular area. So whether it's the customer or an internal team member, you could always have control of their email and their destination from the DocuSign side. So very easy, and the DocuSign team has made it very friendly and user-friendly for us to use.
Was Nicole notified when the contract was signed?
I was notified when the contract was signed. So in here, I've got some emails. So right now I've got in DocuSign, Marissa was a signer. So right now it does say Marissa viewed my document. And then now it's taken and she signed it. So now it's sent it off to me. Once everybody has signed this document, I will be notified that the entire document has been completed for signatures, and I'll actually be able to go in and print off the document with all of the signatures.
Awesome, that's the only questions that we have at this time.
Perfect. Well, as per always, we've got our customer care number in the top left-hand side of our screen. So you've got the email address and the phone number. Feel free at any time to reach out if you've got any questions or concerns. And again, you can always reach out to me as well. And definitely here to support you with this entire process. So thank you for joining us for our Toolbox Talk today.
Awesome, thank you, Nicole.